For a long time, we've had group trade within the corporate group. So AutoNation can trade to AutoNation, Asbury can trade to Asbury. The next thing we were asked for was social groups. So those dealers could trade vehicles outside of their corporation with other dealers and do it in a friendly atmosphere. The natural extension of that was to allow multi-listing, where a dealer can send their vehicle to multiple auctions, even outside of Inventory Plus, at the same time. So what we came up with was open trade, and it's very easy to use. One of the things that the dealer will do first of all is go into their inventory. They can slide down, look at aged units, whatever unit they want to launch. Let's say we want to launch this 2008 Chevy Tahoe. We just launch on the rocket. The fact that it's a green rocket says that it's ready to launch. It fulfills any of the requirements that are set by the dealer. Once you click on the rocket, now I have one widget that I can use for all of those various auctions I was talking about. By default, it thinks that you want to launch a vehicle within the group. If you want to send it to social auction, you click on social auctions, and you can see I have a social auction there. So that would send it, to all the members in my social auction. Then the third extension was open. So when you click on open auction, you get the multiple listings. And as you see, the screen changes to depending on which sort of auction you pick. So now I've selected the open auction. One of the first things I need to do is tell it when do I want this auction to launch. So I'm just going to select tomorrow. And when do I want it to finish? So now I've got a 2-day auction up there. The next typical thing a user would do is the type of auction. So I've got all the choices. I can either set it up for a bid, an offer. I can set it up for a bid only, a bid buy, a buy only. You select whichever you want. So I'm going to say I'm going to go with the buy and offer. The next thing is which of the auctions that we serve do you want to send this to? So it's multiple listings. I want to send it to all of them. So I'm going to send it to Exchange. So while it's going out to the third-party auctions, it will also be listed on our site. I want to send it to OpenLane, OVE, and Smart Auction. Next thing is, what do I want to list this vehicle as? So my choices are OEM, CPO, Frontline Ready, as described, as is, standard, the typical things that you use with a third-party auction. We're going to say this is Frontline Ready. And then how many times do I want to auto list it? So I put it up there for 2 days, but if it doesn't sell in those 2 days, maybe I want to auto list it 3 times. As it's reading this vehicle from our Inventory Plus inventory, it knows whether it's already been marked as non-CPO, CPO eligible, or CPO. So it does that for me. Now, at this point in time, I might go, well, wait a minute, this vehicle is CPO eligible. So if I click it, the good news is it also updates my Inventory Plus inventory. I don't have to rekey it in.
You don't have to rekey it, saving you time.
Behind the scenes, there is some standard settings that are done. And if, let's say, Smart Auction says you must have a condition report to launch this vehicle, then that vehicle can't get launched, and you'll see that in the results. Then the user has 2 choices. They can either go in and do the full condition report, which a number of users will, or if they just want to make this faster, this is an older truck, I can just come in and answer some key things about the condition of the vehicle. So prior paint, I'll say no. Structural damage, no. Any problems with the glass, no. No mechanical issues, no. Do all the tires match size and brand? Yes, they do. And was there any wheel damage? No. There's various pieces of a condition report, right? There's really 2 things. There's a seller disclosure and a condition report. So the seller disclosure is always noted as the seller has filled it out. So if I was to fill out our condition report, which you see here, and if I fill out this condition report inside Inventory Plus, as a seller, that's now a seller disclosure, and it's marked as such. You see an orange box with SD on it. If I want to go out and get a third-party inspection, so now I'm paying for somebody to come in and inspect that car, then that becomes a condition report. Okay. And now you see a red box with CR on it. So, typically a CR carries a bit more weight than a seller disclosure. Now we come to the final step, which is pricing. So, a lot of dealers will think that they're pricing to retail, and we have to kind of remind them that no, this isn't a retail site. You're playing with your other friends. It's a wholesale lane, right? So we have a limit of 115% of their master book, which is a dealer selection. They can select whether it's Black Book, NADA, Kelly, whatever they use.
And that selection's already built into their Inventory Plus system, so it comes from there.
And one of the things you see on the widget is the master book will always be the top book. So in this case, I know, and it says right there, master book, that I'm looking at 115%. So the maximum I could put this vehicle up for is $8,309. So I'm going to, we like to use round numbers, right? So I'm going to just say, I'll go with 8.2 as my starting price. Now, if you want to buy it now, then I'm going to ask for 10.5. So now I've filled in my launch widget. All I got to come down, I could add some comments if I wanted, nice truck, clean. But all the descriptions that are put into the vehicle in Inventory Plus automatically go to the auction with the vehicle. So there's no rekeying in, photos, everything goes with the vehicle.
You put it in one time, it's done, and it grabs it and takes it with it.
One time, you're done. We show that it has been launched with the icon of a circle.
That's what I was going to ask you. So we've gone from the rocket ship to an icon that shows this little circle with the check mark to show that it's been launched.
And in any of the vehicles, you mouse over it, it'll tell you where it's been sent and all the information that you put in for it. So one place you can go to look at this is My Listings. So now I go into My Listings and I say, did the vehicle get launched okay? And here's the vehicle I just launched, the Chevy Equinox. I can see all the information about it. So this is a really neat page, right? If I'm a user and I launched this today and then tomorrow I've done 1,000 things since then, and I go, well, wait a minute, what do I have launched up there right now? I can simply go to My Listings and see all the vehicles that I've got launched. If they're inside our system, I can see the number of offers I've got, what the status is. Now, if this gets sold in any one of those auctions, automatically we get notified and it's removed from the auction. So the dealer doesn't incur costs of, it was sold here and somebody bought it over here because it wasn't taken down. We do it automatically.
So they avoid all the potential penalty fees that you can get.
And you can select how you want to get the notification, but you'll get notified through the web face. So at the top it'll say alert. You've got one alert, which is your vehicle's been sold, and the other one is you'll get the alert through email if you choose to. One of the beauties of it is we can also alert your controller straight away. So if you've got people that aren't using the system, but they need to know that the vehicle's been sold, so they can take care of the necessary paperwork, that can be handled right through Inventory Plus. So they'll get that alert to say it was bought by this person for this much, sold from this dealer on this date. Now you need to take care of transfer of titles and fees and so on. The best reason it's good for our customer is they're using one launch widget. So whether they want to launch to their own group, whether they want to launch to a social group, or whether they want to launch to multiple listings, it's the same experience. It's not different.
I don't have to log in and out of multiple systems to be able to do it. Yeah.
And you can using the My Listing page, you can see where all your cars are all the time. The great part of it is that once the vehicle's sold, you can go into transportation because we have transportation built into Inventory Plus. And if I want to create a shipment, I can. I'll see the vehicles that have been recently sold. And then it's a matter of drag and drop into your transportation list. You can put down, obviously where you want to send the vehicle to.
So if I want to have it done through Central Dispatch, or if I want to outsource it to a broker
to
handle all of it
Exactly.
for me?
So with that, you've gone from soup to nuts, right? You've found an aged inventory piece. You've launched it out to multiple listings. On one of those listings, you sold it. And the other thing is we have reports of, when you launched it, when it was sold, what the profit and loss was, the site draft, so you can send a site draft to any of the dealers.
And you save me time because I'm not having to go in and out. It's integrated. It pulls it directly from my inventory, so I don't have to remember to take it down. And then when it does sell, I can schedule directly on transportation, and it's all taken care of in single click in the same interface, so I'm not logging in and out of multiple systems.
And we've automatically notified the facilitator, so the facilitator knows this transaction's taken place. They notify you, right? So they're saying to the buyer, you need to get your funds together, and we're going to remove your funds from your account. To the seller, they know that they've got to put the vehicle out in a pickup location, get the title ready, and take that transfer and move on to the next one.